How to Succeed at Preliminary Dressage is sponsored by Equifeast.
Hello and welcome to Horse and Country's How to Succeed at Prelim series. I'm Jenny Rudel and today we're going to be looking at how to translate your test sheet. We're here today at Wild Farm Dressage and I'm here with judge and trainer Keith Robertson and the beautiful Amore and her rider Alice. Keith, tell us a little bit about this horse and rider combination.
Yeah, we've got a very experienced rider, but with a young novice horse. This is a 5-year-old horse. It's done a few trips out to a couple of tests, so this is still early days. And
Alice is about to ride a test for us, and I'm going to be the caller. So, a bit nervous. Is there any tips you can give me on calling out a dressage test?
Really, your only tip is obviously, hopefully, having read through it first, so you're not getting a shock when you start calling, but you can only call the wording that is on test. You can abbreviate, but you can't ad-lib, so nothing extra.
Brilliant. Well, I hope to do my best. As you can see, Amore's raring to get going. So what I think I'll do is I'll get in position. You're going to judge it for us, Keith, so if you get into position, and we'll get going. Right, Alice, you ready? Yep. Come on, Amore. Wait. S, circle left, 20 metres in diameter.
It's improving. 5.
E, turn left, over X, medium walk, 1 horse's length. Before B, working trot, B, turn right.
Good shape to circle, but slightly inconsistent to contact. 6.
P, circle right, 20 metres in diameter.
Consistent to contact, but good steps of walk. 5.
Between F and A, working canter right. A, circle right, 20 metres in diameter.
Contact varying, but good shaped circle. 6.
V, R, change the rein. Between X and R, working trot.
5. Good shape to circle, but
R, M, working trot. 6. Between M and C, working canter left. C, circle left, 20 metres in diameter.
5.
CS, working canter.
Better to canter. 6.
SP, change the rein. Between X and P, working trot.
Contact better, circle slightly misshapen. 6.
PA, working trot. AV, medium walk.
Slight loss of balance from canter to trot. 6.
VP, half 20 metre circle right in free walk on a long
11.
rein.
Contact varying, but pleasing transition to walk. 6.
P, medium walk. Working F, working trot. A, turn down the centre line.
Movement 12. Promising steps shown in walk. Needs to take the contact more forwards and down. 6.
X, immobility, salute. Leave the arena when appropriate. Free walk on a long rein.
Walk could show more purpose. Good turn onto centre line with slight wobble and sidestep to halt. 6.
Well done, Alice. That looked like you were having some fun out there. Thank you very much for riding that test for us. And I've got the all-important test sheet here, and Keith's going to work through it with us, and we're going to find out why he's written down and given the marks that he's given. So basically, to start with, I can see here there's lots of circles written on in certain places. What does that mean, just a circle written on the test, Keith?
You'll find quite frequently there's a small amount of time for the judge to give his comment and his mark to the writer and make sure they don't run out of time before the next movement. So you'll find some common abbreviations. A circle obviously is related to the shape of the circle in a test. You might get a square, which means your halt at the end was square, which is correct. And you may find longer words, sort of good or contact, something like that. They may be abbreviated. So good in this case would be GD. You'll see a few times on the test sheet.
Brilliant. So inconsistent to contact, but good steps of walk. So what does that mean?
Really what you'll see on the video of the test, it's a young horse, it's still learning its job and its trade, so there will be times where it comes in and out of contact with the rider's hand and with the bit itself. That obviously has quite a large bearing on the overall mark, but you can still see the quality of the paces underneath the horse, so in this case the walk. The walk steps were good, but the contact to the bit was variable.
Excellent. Slightly tense to canter. Now, how could you tell that the horse was tense?
You tend to see with this horse in particular being young, it tries almost to overreact to the aids sometimes, or if the rider feels they haven't reacted and they give a slightly bigger aid, then obviously the horse overreacts again. In this case it was seen, especially in the second canter, sometimes you see a bit of a hurrying to the canter, and then again the hollowing through the contact, which again affects the overall transition itself. And
I'm assuming that's because Amore is so inexperienced, and that will improve with time?
Very much so. The more mileage and experience she has and the more consistent she becomes in her development of her body, the more consistent the marks will come. And then also the more trusting she will be of the aids, and she'll react more in time with the aids rather than being a little bit late or a little bit hurried.
Okay. You've marked her up for the canter in the second one. You said better to canter.
Yeah.
So was that because the transition was better or the canter itself?
Transition was better, the quality of the canter was better, and also you can see that she's actually picked up marks in quite a few places on the accuracy of her riding. So even though it's a young horse, she rode very good 20-metre circles, which is always something people make mistakes on. The two that we could really improve are the centre lines. That's something we need to focus on. It's the first mark a judge sees for you, and it's the last one they see at the end of the test. So you ride two good centre lines, you've already persuaded that judge to think about the higher marks.
Okay, and I'm also seeing promising steps shown in walk, need to contact more forward and down.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Promising steps shown. So
again, this horse has got a good quality walk, but with the contact varying and just lacking a little bit of confidence in the contact, she needs to really trust the rider when they soften their hand that she takes that contact down and out and forwards to show a really relaxed walk.
So that's what you were looking
for?
for?
Cover. Absolutely.
Okay, brilliant. And finally, just looking, change of writing here at the bottom.
Yeah, that's my section.
Okay, so this is someone's writing for you, and here this is what you've written. And you've written very promising combination. I'm glad to see that your handwriting is quite easy to read.
Thank you.
With pleasing moments in all paces, now needs to work more consistently into the contact to improve marks. And that's something we've seen quite a lot through the test, the inconsistency in the contact.
Yeah, very much so.
So basically, you think she'd be a good horse for the future? Alice should keep on with Amore?
I think it's going to be a very good combination. The horse has very good basic qualities to all three paces. With confidence and maturity and a lot more strength, then this horse is going to be a lot more consistent and therefore be picking up sevens in virtually every movement. Yeah.
Brilliant. So could you take Alice away for us now and just show us how you think she could improve on certain aspects of this test?
Yeah, certainly.
Would you like to take this?
Absolutely.
There we go. Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, Alice, the two things that we can really improve on are your centre lines. So what I'd like you to do is almost aim to turn a little bit early onto the centre line. So worst case scenario, you can let her drift slightly to the centre line. There's nothing worse than watching somebody trying to correct and drag a horse back to the centre line. So whichever rein you feel preferable to enter on, come down and just turn yourself just a little bit early. And here you're having to do that. In a test situation, you might even be able to enter from outside the boards, which is always easier. In here, we're a little bit restricted. So if you turn fractionally early and then allow the horse to just work its way to the centre line in the first couple of steps. Okay, so if you steady her slightly on the turn, Alice, aim to be sort of half a metre early and then let yourself find the centre line as you turn. That's better already, super. Then you can ride a much more positive entry rather than feeling like you're riding a correction the whole time. Exactly the same philosophy of slightly steadied on the turn. Look at your centre line early. Very good. And then make sure at this level you make your transition progressive, so there's no great big changes. Lovely. Much better entry and finish. Here you can afford to aim to turn just a fraction early. It's not quite so easy for the judge to see. Go sitting earlier. Transition to walk. So the transition itself was better, even though there was still tension in the contact, and then trot away. And again, that's a very similar to the way in which she rode that movement within the test, where she tries to cut off the corner of your second section of trot. So if you come back round and we ride that one more time. Much better, good, and trot. That's fine. So there at least the reaction is there. We can always improve the outline as we go on and we reschool the movement. But certainly this is something that you can work on at home. Just pick one movement that's a little bit tricky for your horse, ride it through a few times, get an improvement, maybe go back, work something else, and then come back and ride the movement again towards the end. Good, soft in the hand, let her travel forwards to the walk, and trot. But in this case, we're having the option of re-riding the movement several times, so you judge your reaction to her based on her reaction prior to it. Lovely, well ridden. And then trot away when you're ready. Much better. That's a good one to finish on there. Even though she got a little tight after the movement itself was much more accurate. It's a straighter line, a smoother transition both downwards and upwards, and that gives you a much better starting point for next time.
Well, Keith, that was absolutely brilliant. You could see a really clear improvement in Amore's behaviour there. What other tips could you give us if we were going to do that again? If she was going to go through the test again, what would you be doing?
It's really trying to put into practice the repetitions that you've made of the problem movement. So, you know, and don't think that it's going to be fixed in a day. Certainly with a young horse, and we talk about contact issues and things, it's not going to be fixed in a day. It's an ongoing process. But we'd have certainly improved each of those movements by 1 or maybe 2 marks.
Brilliant. So, Alice, if you were going to take anything away from today with your test, what would it be?
Preparation, probably. Not only for the test itself, but for the individual movements, so that you're better prepared to know what's coming up and then can deal with any problems that might arise.
Brilliant. And I think we can all agree Amore has behaved as well as can be expected on camera. We all get a bit camera shy, Amore. So that's all for today, but thank you very much for joining us, Keith and Alice. Again, brilliant to have you here. Join us next time when we're going to be looking at all those secret tips that people like to know when riding their dressage test.